Here. Mr. Kmadowicz?
Present.
Mr. Hallowell?
I'm here.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Ms. Vanis Clemens? Here. Mr. Fluma?
Here.
Mr. DeLuerto?
Here.
Mr. Rice?
Here.
Mr. Misantri?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So four comments from the audience, so our kids can go home. Now we're doing the food show.
The only good thing, if I come, then I can't eat ice cream.
I just want to say that, the students did a fabulous job. Amber, guiding our students. Come on forward, guys. I want you to introduce yourselves. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Introduce yourselves, tell us your name, what school you go to, the year you're at the bus.
I'm Elizabeth. I am a senior at Pennridge.
My name's Dylan. I go to Palo State, and I'm a senior. My name's Tim. I'm a senior at Palo State.
Good. So, today was our initial kickoff of our food truck, and we're going to have many, many more events that will be out there. You'll be able to follow us on our website. We'll be able to follow us through Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So we will have a schedule up there as soon as we start getting all of the bookings coming in. We have a lot already, but we're going out slowly. I think they did a fabulous job, and all the proceeds that when we go out there, we're going to go back into our student funds. We're going to help our students when we send them to nationals. We send them to Skills USA, and send our kids of other programs out to different competitions throughout Pennsylvania. So, these guys are going to kill it, I think, and it's a great opportunity for them. So, again, thank you very much. It was awesome.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. So, with that, we can start with recognitions, comments, and questions. Comments from the audience. Just please state your name and municipality. Happily. Last session. Sarah Ryden.
That's me. I'm just here representing the Bucks County Intermediate Unit. Just wanted to say hi. Hi.
Thank you.
What office in the IU?
I'm the Supervisor of Human Resources.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just wanted to be here and answer any questions and support everybody, and as well as Teresa, who's here today.
Any other comments and questions from Mr. Lindsay?
Robert Linden, Pennridge School District. This evening I had the opportunity to attend the Policy Committee meeting, and I was very impressed with what Dr. Herrera is doing with that, and I hope all the other committee meetings are going just as well, and wish you best of luck and keep going. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from audience members? Okay. Moving on. We had an executive session prior to this meeting to discuss litigation matters. So it's item number 5, administrative reports, and A is director's report.
Thank you. So we started the tradition now that we're going to showcase our programs every board meeting, and this evening we're going to showcase our small engine program. Mr. William Young, can please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. William Young, who began teaching small engine repair at LCTI, where he also attended as a student in the small engine program in the early 80s. While in high school, he began working part-time at a local small engine shop during his junior year, and then spent his entire senior year in the cooperative education program. Not surprisingly, Mr. Young worked his way up the ranks and became service manager in 2 different shops in the Lehigh Valley upon graduation. In addition to his career success, Mr. Young was also a dedicated family man who found the time to serve as a soccer and Boy Scout leader for his 2 sons. He credits his scouting leadership experience for planting the seeds for him to become a teacher, and the rest is history. On second thought, lighting the ignition or small engine statement would have been a little better fit here. But never one to rest on his laurels, and after teaching at LCTI for 9 years, Bill accepted a position at UBCTS and was charged with the task of opening up a new small engines program. At the same time, he earned his Bachelor's of Science of Education from Temple in 2017. He is also a certified cooperative education coordinator, assisting this past summer with the Bucks County Workforce Development Board SLIP grant, and we thank you for that. Here we are in the 6th year of having small engines, and some key points about the program. Enrollment has never been an issue, always lots of interest and retention. We have developed power equipment curriculum around all types of engines and equipment. He's obtained thousands of dollars in donated engines and machinery to benefit the students, which includes air, land, and sea. The motorcycle curriculum is coming on strong with the 2016 national winner at the Skills USA Nationals. We currently have 6 bikes and 4 ATVs for students to practice and learn from, along with a new textbook and many resources. Bill is also a UBCTS Skill USA advisor. In 2018, he signed an agreement with Yamaha Marine, securing support and resources to build and develop our marine curriculum, along with ABYC, American Boat and Yacht Council membership to reach industry standards. Students earn certifications through Honda, Briggs & Stratton,
Husqvarna.
Still, Valvoline, Echo, and Yamaha Marine, which helps students showcase a well-rounded portfolio. He's partnered with Pittsburgh Institute of Aviation, who was just in here yesterday, to prepare students for careers as top-notch aircraft mechanics and avionics technicians. Forbes ranked them as the #1 top 2-year trade school in 2018. We've taken field trips to local dealerships such as Carson Helicopter, Lawn Equipment Parts Company, who did Exmark, and Echo factory training with the students. He attended Maple Grove Raceway just last Friday for the NHRA Dodge Nationals, and a STEM YES program showcasing careers in the racing industry. He maintains a production shop servicing all types of small engine for members of the community and nonprofits. And the students handle every part of that process, including customer service, writing repair orders, and invoicing the bill. Mr. Young was picked by a peer and accepted the responsibility of being a cluster chair for the transportation cluster. During last summer, Mr. Young went back to the workplace and as part of the educator in the workplace and worked at Montgomery Cycle, where he gained valuable experience which he's passing on to his students and changing the curriculum, always staying up to date. Mr. Young is especially proud of his students and their stories of success, having many work in the industry in local shops and going on to post-secondary schools to earn a degree. They've learned to carry the torch of serving others and enjoy a successful work-life balance. Recently, we learned that we, as Upper Bucks, and Mr. Young was accredited by the Equipment and Engine Training Council in 4 categories: 2-strokes, 4-strokes, electrical systems, and generator. The EETC executive director who came and did the tour with Mr. Young had this to comment. Mr. Young has a passion for teaching, and I personally was amazed at what he has been able to achieve in a short amount of time to get the school's program up and running to industry standards. I was impressed with the amount of engines, equipment, components that he has collected. This shows that he works closely with local dealerships in the service work that comes through the shop. So this is just we could go on and on and on, but Mr. Young, we appreciate all that you do. You put many long hours in, and you always have the students' best interests at heart. So congratulations. Questions, comments?
What happened to the kid that won the motorcycle?
Oh, well, it was actually 2017 that he won the second place at the national.
Country, right?
Yeah, second place in the country. It was a 2016 Harley Davidson that we received, brand new. He received enough scholarship money to go to college. He decided to go to Ohio Technical College in Cleveland. And they do have a power sports small engine program there, but he decided to be a certified welder, believe it or not. And they didn't care how he spent the money, so he's like, you know what? Long story, his neighbor climbs cell phone towers and helps weld, and he just thought, hey, that sounds exciting. So he says, I'll become a certified welder, you know. Kid can do anything he wants to do.
He's a mechanic.
And I believe he's just about finished now. It's about a 1.5-year program, and I haven't touched base with him, but he took advantage of it, and I have no doubt he'll be very successful. So yeah, that's another success story there. Yeah, good kid. So it's I do I've been dealing with Mitch Anderson for years, and a few others in here.
So am I.
What's that? Yeah, well, so look me up if you have any needs that we can help you with, but it's always been a pleasure working here, and it's like family, so we'll just keep chugging along.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thanks for doing this. It's so neat for us, because we don't get to interact with everybody on a regular basis to hear all the amazing things that everybody's doing, so it's really neat for us, so thank you.
So that's one of our positives, many positives going on. The school year started out great. We have our first legislative day scheduled for October 11th. And then, of course, today was our food truck kickoff. So that's really exciting. Our kids are excited. I'll go through our donation report. We had a donation of $1,000 from the Home Builders Association of Bucks in Montgomery County for food truck sponsorship. We also had a school year supply of hay of $1,100 from Good Times Rental from Eric Turner for Animal Veterinary Science Program. And then we had one skid of carbon steel drops and structural, and one skid of 18 gauge clips for $1,300 from the Hart Mechanical Electrical Contractors, Inc. for our welding program. So, we're out there hitting the pavement, and the community, I have to thank the community for supporting our schools and helping our students. It's vital that they come in and they're donating their equipment and materials for our kids to work with.
Great. Do we ask for those specifically, or is that something they had extra and they kind of like decided to pass on to us, or do we kind of ask for them?
Sometimes we ask, but then usually it's, we have this, they'll call us and they'll call our instructor and they'll ask Jeff, they'll say, can you use this? Well, yeah, of course, we'll use it.
I'm just kind of like the hay, I think that's awesome, but like somebody needs to know Eric and
Well, I'm sure.
how'd that go down?
I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he may be on the OEC list.
I'm doing a cash donation towards hay because big prices up there.
Yeah.
$100
That's
isn't
cool.
very much.
I think it's great, all the teachers and everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Parent information night is set for September 26th from 5:30 to 7. And we have 8th grade tour, tentative dates, Pennridge, October 21st, Palisades will be October 23rd, and Quakertown, October 24th. So we'll have the 8th grade tours coming through our school, and that's a normal routine. So we'll have a lot of little kids looking around with you guys. And that's it. Oh, and we have, okay, so then our last, but not least, but the best for last, we have our September Student of the Month. Chris will do a presentation.
Okay, to kick off our 2019-2020 school year, I am honoring Nathan Carlucci, son of Chris and Melissa Carlucci. Nathan is a senior from Quakertown enrolled in Mr. Chris Basante's mechatronics program here at Upper Bucks County Technical School. Nathan has a high mechanical ability and learns very quickly. He enjoys mountain biking and plans on attending the University of Northwestern Ohio to study robotics and automation. Congratulations.
Administration, we want to present you with these students. I never saw a student wear a suit. Congratulations. Great work. Good job.
Let's see your poster, Chris. Nice. That's great.
We just have one more announcement. Manufacturing Day is October 4th. Mrs. Reese put together a wonderful plan. Ag and Life Sciences is going to Lampire. Machining is going to Hefner Machine. Mechatronics is going to Demco Automation and Pac Pro. And welding is going to Daria Metal Fabricators for gold session. So that's coming up on October 4th for Manufacturing Day. Through a grant, we're able to send our students to these companies.
Okay, and then our adult ed update?
Right. Yes, I passed out the adult ed report, basically, just telling you how we were doing over the summer. We had 4 classes that ran in auto. We had an EIC class, 2 of those, a safety inspection class, and we also offered a SolidWorks class for the first time this year. We set up the one of the rooms that we use for Bucks County Community College for their entrepreneurial training in the fall and spring. We set it up as a small computer lab and have set it up with SolidWorks in there. And we had 5 different companies send 1 or 2 employees, and it was a very profitable course for us. It just finished Tuesday evening. And we will continue to have more of those types of training and also expand into Mastercam and AutoCAD as well. So we're really looking forward to that. And I also mentioned that because we had 4 classes, 33 students this summer, but we more than doubled what we were able to bring in revenue-wise last summer. So I'm just talking about the summer. But I'm hoping it's a trend that will continue for us. So we're looking forward to the fall. And right now we're in the middle of recruiting for a lot of the courses that you see advertised on the flyer. A lot of them are still in the manufacturing sector, primarily welding, small engine, mechatronics, machining courses. But we are also venturing into our CDL training. We're starting a theory course for CDL that will start at the end of this month. We have a few people who are interested right now, but with getting the word out to everyone, we hope that that will quickly increase. We're working with industry or local companies right now to secure additional equipment so that we'll be able to soon have people on the road. So we're very excited about that. Things are moving along quite well. It's been very helpful. So we're also looking at expanding into an evening residential electrical program. One of the motions tonight is for a new adult education instructor who is a certified electrician for a number of years and schooled in NCCER, and we're hoping to expand that into a full evening program. So we're looking forward to that. And also expanding into the computer offerings. We really need to continue, I need to continue with the marketing effort, and if there's anyone that would like to offer help, know-how, I would love to have it. There will be ads this week that will be in the Intelligencer and the Bucks County Herald over the weekends, and we're just trying to get the word out as best we can. We currently do a lot of marketing, targeted marketing directly to specific industries. Our whole focus continues to be workforce development and to to help employees move up the ladder, or if they are wishing to move into a new industry. So that will continue to be our focus and continue to expand. So that's what we're working on right now. And also, I would love to get more businesses in here for customized training. We have done some courses in welding and some of the machining, but I'd love to be able to expand those as well. Okay? Any questions? David?
The SolidWorks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 3D modeling program that machinists, engineers will use as they are building programs. And Mastercam is also that type of a software program. And as is AutoCAD, it's all in design and manufacturing 3D models. Okay?
So how, I guess I could probably do the math here, but how much about does the course cost, like, an evening class cost? How much do you charge on average?
All of it varies. For that course, it was $8.25 a person. And it's not advertised for the fall, so you won't see SolidWorks at this time. We're planning to have a Mastercam program in the winter, and we just finished the one SolidWorks right now. But all of that, a lot of people in industry will go out for that type of training, and they'll do, you know, a 2-day training for $3,000. And you get a huge overview in that type of the training, but you really don't get the depth and the time to actually apply it. So the engineers who took this course were pleased with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Review administrative reports. Moving on to committee reports, the first one is facilities committee. We had our facilities meeting today at 5 p.m. I wasn't at that one. Do you want to share what happened?
Just a synopsis. Excuse me? Just a synopsis. Agenda. What's the agenda?
Just, what we went over was, first of all, I introduced myself and told everybody who I am and what I am. And at this time, I'd like to thank the entire board for voting for me and bringing me on in this great.
Congratulations.
We went over, we had an OSHA walkthrough, and OSHA came through and inspected not inspected, but observed our non-instructional areas and gave us some pointers on what we need to correct here and what we need to correct there. As we did, we went over to police vulnerability report. We had troopers come in and do another courtesy assessment of our grounds and give us a report on what they would like to see changed and what they'd like to see upgraded based on what they've seen. I went over some of the items that I've been working on and future wish to work on, the PM preventive maintenance schedule. And that's about all we went over.
Thank you. Any board members on facilities meeting? The finance committee meeting? Okay.
The finance committee, finance fiscal, met at 5 o'clock. Teresa, introduce yourself to, I know who she was, to Mitch. And we talked about revising the administrative policy of bills to bring them, I think, in line with what the auditor's best practice would be on the way the bills are paid. We'll see that next month, maybe. We then reviewed the bills, answered some questions. The next meeting will be October 23rd at auditors will be here the 23rd and the 25th, and the next meeting will be October 17th.
Anything to add? No? And our policy program committee also met at 5 o'clock today. Is there anyone who
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we met and we went over, Pennsylvania School Boards Association has been working closely with us. You approved a policy overview. On tonight's agenda, we're also asking you to consider approving the regulations that go along with that. Policies are great, they're very broad. Regulations are how we as the administrators and the staff interpret those policies. And we really believe that that'll be beneficial if we have the regulations that go along with it. And even after that, there's another level. There's the procedures and everything. So we have our work cut out for us, but we think that'll help us improve getting a common vision and with communication. The second area we talked about is we restructured and streamlined all of our committees at the school level to align for better alignment and improved communication. We reviewed 3 existing policies through PSBA as we move forward with governance. One of them was policy 903, which is public participation in joint operating committee meetings. One of those was public complaints, and one of them was the 326 employee complaint process. And those are existing, taking a look at PSBA's model policies. There's not a lot of changes to those. We went over the Life Track Senior Survey. So we had 3 years of data for all of our senior students that graduated, and I'll get into that in a little bit. We also had a wellness committee meeting at 4:30. Mr. Anderson and a parent, student, Gina from Pennridge participated in that, and I'll go over those agendas. And then we also have a recommendation to separate, because of the amount of work, adding a separation of the policy and programming, basically adding a 4th committee. And that's based on the recommendation from the superintendents to say, instead of 3 committees, let's go to 4, because there's going to be a lot of work with policies and regs, and we're doing a lot of work with the programming. The data, which we shared through that Life Track survey, all of our indicators from last year, over 3 years, increased. And just some quick highlights. Work-based learning increased from the previous year to this year's senior class. Students prepared to transition increased. We'll continue with the UBCTS career major increased. This amount of students who felt staff cared about them stayed the same. Our advanced scores on our NOCTI increased from 66 to 69%. Our goal is going to be 80% advanced moving forward. The amount of students who felt safe here increased from 88 to 93% of students last year. And the amount of students increased who would recommend the school to others went up from 90 to 92%. So a lot of our indicators with that senior survey, we met with the staff and we gave them 3 years worth of data along with their individual program reports. Other topics included our committees, which is to sum it up: technology, instructional rounds, safety, steering, professional development, and we created a cluster committee. Cluster committee is based on 5 clusters, which we changed, one of them being construction, transportation, human services, ag, life, and health services, and then finally advanced manufacturing with creative design. So that's when our staff meets once per month. They're able to share best practices, cross-curricular, sharing of resources, and just to help improve communication. We added a new facilities committee based on last month's JOC. We have a chair, Jim Acuff, our wellness instructor, agreed to co-chair that with Bill, and members We really appreciate, a couple of them in attendance, Kim Kukis, Brian Moser, Andy Walyon, stepping up to get our facilities up and running with Mr. Gerhard. So we thank you all for doing that. And I'm going to finish up with our wellness committee. We reviewed our policy. We are tasked with doing a wellness policy assessment tool. We reviewed our fundraiser exemptions. And we were also identifying, I'll let Chris talk about this, as a 2019-20 Healthy School Champion through Penn State University for our wellness.
Speaks for itself. We were in the 48th percentile of 625 schools across the state of Pennsylvania with a 3-star rating out of 5. So there's plenty of room for improvement, of course, but we're trending in the right direction.
And I think I covered it, so thank you.
How are you gonna, in the future, schedule these meetings for, like, facility meetings? When is the next facility meeting? Is it always gonna be before this board meeting?
Unless you want to change it.
No, that's fine, I'm just, but, so the next meeting for facilities will be right before the next board meeting?
Correct.
So I can plan out my year. Very busy man.
I have a question about the student response survey. You had made it sound like there's 3 years worth, like, was it like hidden? Did like the past person not look through those results, or they just finally accumulated for the first time in like a presentable format, or?
We ordered a special report because, again, we wanted to see longitudinal data, and this was the first time we shared it with our staff, and we gave them the data.
Did anybody review that data before?
I don't believe so. Staff that's in the audience?
Yeah, we used to have senior surveys, and they would review it.
Yeah, they would go over like in the fall, like
It
what
just
the
probably
results
just didn't
were.
make it to this board.
Yeah.
So I have a question about the PSBA contract piece, but I don't know, I can ask this then, or I can now, or I can ask it when the motion comes up, maybe on the, so whatever. All right, I'll just ask it now. So from what I understand, I think our district, we have a membership with PSBA, and so that gives us access to the material, but our administration goes through and updates these things. Is there a reason why we're not doing this in-house, and why we keep subbing all of it out to PSBA to do it for us?
That is a great question. We are so far behind. We've never, and we talked about this during the committee. There's some school districts that don't publish the regulations or bring that to the board before approval. Working with PSBA, Kristen Earhart, our consultant, and we talked about that because it's an overwhelming amount of work. And so the question was asked, should the JOC approve all regulations? My suggestion would be yes, because we've had a couple of scenarios this year already on some policies where we need guidance above the policy with the regulations. Let me give you an example, specific example. Suicidal ideation. So we work with 3 districts. One district does it one way, 2 other districts do it different ways based on the same policy, and the difference being the regulations or even the interpretations of that. So when a new counselor or counselors say, Mike, we need approval on how we are implementing, not even the policy, which is very broad, or the regs, that's where we would like to then bring it and work on that with guidance. And my suggestion, and we can speak, some of the committee members, having those regs and those documents approved will benefit. One of the agenda items is about handling animals and on that. So we would like to bring a lot of these things to the JOC so just to be aware of it. And that's even above and beyond the regulations, but the implementation and the nitty gritty, because there's so many legalities with these.
Right, so when we have questions like that, usually that's something that we bring to the solicitor, and then the solicitor gives us which they think, a legal opinion on which avenue to take. But don't we currently have that in for, like, isn't that
May.
this PS?
I think they're so far behind, and we haven't been doing maintenance in so long. We're doing like an overhaul right now, so that we can begin doing maintenance once again. It's kind of like when the yard gets so crazy and overgrown, you kind of need to hit it with the, more than the lawnmower, with the big mower, right? And then you can kind of start using the lawnmower again.
Well, I think there's two different issues there. One is the general overview of the policies, which is what I believe we voted on last time, which is where we're really behind. This is talking about, the motion that I believe is on the agenda tonight, is talking about a manual for the administrative regulations, which, as I said in the policy review committee, I don't believe that the JOC, those should be brought to the JOC because of the fact that those change on a more regular basis, and so every time you want to do anything, you're gonna need to bring it to the JOC, and I don't know if you can run the business that way when we're only meeting once a month. That was my personal opinion, and I said it then in that meeting, I'm saying it again now. So I am not 100% sure I agree with the fact that the ARs need to be brought to the JOC.
My suggestion to the JOC would be that leave it up to the director or deputy director to pick and choose on the ARs. I know in our own, in Quakertown, some of the ARs have a lot more interest than others with the school board.
And that's fine.
And so that those things that Jeff and Michael and Chris and others, teachers, are sensitive to, that they come up to the board, and so it's a kind of a judgment call because of the alignment of the AR with the philosophy of the JOC.
Okay. And the last question I have is, the manual or whatever we can discuss, and I guess you've opened the door, so I'll continue on the same door. The manual, whatever we're looking for tonight, is that to help you all with the administrative, to build better administrative regulations?
Yes.
Thank you.
So whose job description does this currently fall under?
All of us.
So I guess I'm just wondering, because like you just said, you're gonna have to keep redoing it all the time anyway, so.
Well, no, we'll just have to update it, but it's so far behind that I don't think it's humanly possible to be able to update from governances up to 900 levels of those policies. So we want to bring them all up to date, and then once they're up to date, we have that outline, then we can, go forward with, developing faculty handbooks and stuff like that, that we're going to have that governances in line. It'll take us years, it'll take them a year and a couple of months to get everything in order, where we want it to be. Some of our policies are I'm looking at one now, 2008, and we want to make sure that everything is in line legally. PSBA does a great job. I think Palisades has just gone through policies, procedures. Pardon? We're still working on it.
We're working on the second round. We did the first round 5 years ago.
Right, and they brought in PSBA and they do a fabulous job, so, it'll free us up to, do, more things in the school for our students, and that just takes up a lot of time, and effort to try to keep that up to date. So once we get it to that level, PSBA will be sending us updates, and then we don't have to rewrite everything. I think there's some stuff in here that is gonna have to get either taken out or rewritten, and then we do that, send it to Ellis, come back for a reading. I mean, it's just it'll just take longer. And I think, going the route that we voted on last month is really gonna helpful for us, moving forward.
I would also ask, I don't think he would second it, but if the Quakertown solicitor was here, Jeff Garton, he would say the PSBA flushes out with their legal review almost all the policies that have, unless it's a local thing that goes on, Pennridge, Quakertown, Palisades are here, and so they flush out all the big issues, and they give you a boilerplate of this is what we think on this particular topic you should have as a policy legally, and then you do your local spin, run it by the solicitor, so they do all, so you're gonna be saving more money by going to PSBA than Sorry.
Try to do it on our own.
Yeah, but aren't we already getting that information? We're getting that information, and then we get that information from PSBA on a regular basis. You still have access to all that information if you have a PSBA membership. So,
But
I don't know why we're paying.
part of your service or additional service you can have is that they do this maintenance fee. They run through everything for you. They go online.
right, and all I'm saying is, we have access to the material, we just need to input it ourselves. So I don't,
It's a little more complicated.
well, but I think all of
It
our home
shouldn't
districts
be.
are doing it.
It shouldn't have gotten
And
so far along that we should be able to continue.
Well, I
with
think if you're
ourselves.
going through it, it's cyclical, and so as you get to each policy and you're reviewing it, it makes sense to update each one fully every time you get, as you're going through it, and you're gonna have to keep doing it. So I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me, but we do it this way.
Like Bob said, we've been doing it, this is now our second rollout. It took 5 years, and then 5 years, the first year, we went through everything, and then for the next 4 years, we got updated. And now, they're looking at it again in a total package. And I'm hoping not to get as many updates.
Right, because then you go back around again and again and again, because by the time you get done, there's more
Yeah.
changes, so you start all over.
Yeah, but we have rules that haven't been updated since 2008 though, like you just pointed out. And I think the point is, we need to get ourselves to a bar so that we can continue to pull ourselves back
It's a new
up.
starting point, basically.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
a new starting point, and then
the
Alice
best way to
is
explain it.
we're using.
Okay. Moving on to the consent calendar. So first thing on our consent calendar is August minutes. Yeah, we'll separate them all.
Move to approve the minutes of the August meeting.
I'll second it.
Any comments or questions about the minutes from August? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. So item number B is September bills payable.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions about the bills payable? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Item number C is August financial reports.
Hold on real quick, is bill pay list, there's like account numbers in here, should it be inside like a spreadsheet?
That's part of our discussion we had.
Alright.
Instead of invoice number, we're gonna have check numbers.
All right.
And then the checks, you can pull them out and take a look at. I think it's very useful.
Seems like data that maybe shouldn't be public, just diligence.
Okay, so C is August financial reports.
Move to approve the financial reports.
Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. And then item number D, personnel recommendation.
I have item G of D for the
G of D.
Hold on. G or A?
G. Well, I thought A we weren't voting on.
Well, we need to pull it now,
Okay.
so that we can.
But I also need G
You also
pulled
want to
separately.
discuss G separately.
I don't need to discuss it, I need to abstain.
Everyone has their each.
So we just make a motion as B through F.
B through F, okay.
Alright.
I'd like to make a motion for,
Who made the motion?
No motion yet.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion for the board to vote on B through F. And and pull out A and E. Any objections?
I'll second that.
I thought she said, so there's no reason to.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Comments or questions about B through F? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motions B through F carry 9-0. Okay, so then,
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend voting on item A for the month, so that table it, so that the school board directors have opportunity to review the document a little bit more in depth.
A second?
all those in favor? That was a new motion. So I don't know what
No,
it's
motion
not.
to table.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, carries 9-0. And that will be tabled to next meeting. All right, now we can go to,
I move that we approve G.
I'll second.
okay. Any comments or questions on item number G? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I abstain?
So, motion G carries 8-0.
I was duplicate from last one.
All right, so now we are on item number 8, Skills USA District 11 Ambassador Training. I'm looking for a motion to approve student participation in the Skills USA District 11 Ambassador Training at Camelback Lodge, Pennridge, PA, on November 13th, 2019, for a maximum cost of $355 to UBCTS.
So moved.
Comments or questions?
This is what we've done for the last, good program. In conjunction with something else that was on up there, right?
EDC is next.
That's next.
Yep. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Item number 9, Skills USA Professional Development Conference. I'm looking to approve student participation in the Skills USA Professional Development Conference at Camelback Lodge, Tannersville, PA, on November 14th and 15th, paid by Skills USA Student Activity Account and students, 30 max, students registration, lodging and meals at $175, $5, $250 paid by UBCTS advisor, chaperones 3, chaperone and registration, lodging and meals, total of $525, 2 substitute days, 2 teachers, $110 a day, $440, transportation $1,600 total UBCTS, $25.65 for a maximum cost of $7,815. Move that $5. $250 from Skills USA Student Activity Account and $2,565 from UBCTS.
It's 5,000.
Oh, 5,000.
That's where the 5 is. It's that random 5 in the beginning of the 250.
So good. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thanks.
A second.
Or,
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Item number 10, the, I don't know if they call it SNAPA or SNAPA, annual dinner. Looking for a motion to host the annual dinner for the local chapter of the School Nutrition Association of Pennsylvania on December 11th, 2019, in the UBCTS cafeteria at no cost to UBCTS. This is the second time they've had it here now? Third?
yeah.
Third time.
So moved. She seconded on this one.
Comments or questions from board members?
She did that one, she did this one.
All those in favor?
Okay.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Winter breakfast, breakfast with Santa Claus. Motion to approve UBCTS to hold winter breakfast on Saturday, December 7th, 2019, at no cost to UBCTS.
Do we need an initial motion?
Sorry.
I'll make an initial motion if you second already.
Comments or questions? I know that's always very well attended. I always go. We've been doing that for quite a few years, right? Any other comments or questions from board members? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. We have an MOU for BCTE TAP. Looking for a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Upper Bucks County Technical School and the Bureau of Career and Technical Education for participation in the BCTE Technical Assistance Program.
Second.
Comments or questions from board members?
Can somebody tell me what it is?
Yeah, so the TAP, they call it the Technical Assistance Program. What they do is the purpose of the program is to significantly raise the academic and technical standards of our students. So they'll come in and they'll help us out with professional development. They have a list of things that, on there that we're gonna follow, like career technical distinguishable leaders, monthly pre-test and study guides. We're integrating math in the CPE classes, coaching clinics, and then, for leaderships sending, Mike and Chris out to, and myself, we go to leadership field programs at
Teacher development?
professional, teacher, and
Professional.
professional, yeah, teachers and professional stuff, we're all professionals.
Right.
For all of us, there's development for everybody.
You're getting the storage building.
Yeah, we're gonna work with our students, and we're bringing in CPE math into the CPE programs for our students to, significantly increase their math skills, and, testing of the test, study guides.
Is this a free service they offer?
What we paid is it's minimum, the state runs it, and all the conferences that we go to, the conference is on the state, if we become a TAP school. So there's a lot of benefits, when we go to conferences, we don't have to pay the conference fee, we'll have to pay for the lodging, we don't have to pay for the conference fee, and when our instructors or our administrative team goes out and goes into those bills, we're not going to have to pay for those bill classes. So it's at no cost for us to be a TAP school, so we're just taking advantage of the state.
The building I'm attending is a comprehensive local needs assessment, and it's usually, I think, like $300 by being a part of this organization. The fee is waived.
Any more comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 9-0.
Hold on.
Oh. 8-0. I didn't even see that. All right, so number 13, we have the PSBA contract for administrative regulations manual. Comments or questions? I was just reading what it said here. All those in favor? Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. 8-6-2.
6-2.
Use of facility, looking for a motion to approve. Looking for a motion to approve the Pennridge volleyball team to hold their banquet, EBCTS in the cafeteria with cafeteria manager doing the catering on November 14, 2019. No cost to Upper Bucks County Technical School.
A second.
Comments or questions?
That's a great idea on their part.
How many people
That's
does our
what I found.
facility hold? I didn't have one of those.
I think it was, for our last awards,
No, it's about 380.
Oh, 380.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Storage building, we have a change order. Looking for a motion to approve the change order COGC 01 to Dutchman Contracting LLC in the amount of $9,330 for a credit for unused material allowance, reducing the project number 184,001 to a total cost of $73,488.
I won't credit for that one.
I'll second.
No discussion.
You can give it away.
Comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Building and grounds agreement, motion to approve the agreement for buildings and ground services with Palisades School District and UBCS for 1 school year not to exceed $10,000.
Second.
Comments or questions?
Just, I guess, we should probably just make sure everybody remembers correctly, I guess. This contract is because we onboarded somebody new, and in order to do the transition as smoothly as possible, this person's gonna be acting as an intermediate and doing some training for our new grounds manager, as well as computer training, do I remember properly? Is it possible to do without this person?
Alan? I think because of the late hire and Joe not being here to at least facilitate for a few weeks, possibly months, it's really hard. It's just to assist and make recommendations and look at our facilities to make sure that, we're up to snuff. I put it out there to the 3 districts and talked about it with the superintendents, and I really think that it would benefit Bill tremendously.
Smells like something's burning.
It smells like burnt popcorn.
That might be the problem.
Sorry, I was distracted.
Yeah.
So just literal oversight, or is there a training component to this? Because it was my understanding. It's just on call. We're not expected to spend $10,000. Somebody said, I read something about 21 days or something like that. What is that reference to?
Well, that's what Alan's daily rate would be. So if we need him for 21 days or half days, it would lead up to 21 days to cover the 10,000.
But if we use them for 5 days, we pay them per diem for 5 days.
Not really.
We're not giving this guy a salary.
Oh, it's up to, so if I don't need him for 21 days, I don't have to pay $10,000.
Oh, okay.
But it says not to exceed.
Not to exceed, or up to 10,000. So I can use them for 10 days.
So we're paying him hourly then, ultimately, when we break this down? Is that what this says?
Right.
Okay, all right.
So anytime it says 3.5 hours would be, it says
Consider it half
time
a day.
spent performing services of less than 3.5 hours in a day will automatically be counted as a half day. So if he calls them to ask him a question, we get charged for a half day.
No, I don't think.
Well, that's what this says, the contract says that.
Think or we don't know?
No, Alan,
I
you're
mean,
not
that's
gonna,
what the wording says.
Calling in and him coming in.
if he's coming in physically and spending 3.5 hours or less here, we're gonna pay a half a day. Just give him a call, but physically being here on campus.
Well, if all we're doing is a computer training,
Well, it's more than that. It's more than just computers. I mean, it's learning the whole, it's learning the computer system, the air conditioning system, the heating system, electrical system.
But isn't our system
The arsenic
different than
system.
Palisades system? It would be different than Pennridge's system?
No,
So you
air
have to-
conditioning and refrigeration is all the same no matter what. They might, Palisades, Pennridge, Quakertown, their systems are bigger. but the concept is the same. You have refrigerant flowing through, and, you know, the concept is the
It's not
same.
about getting used to this facility, it's about getting used to any facility?
I think there's similarities in the control systems. If they aren't the same as Palisades.
We have Levitron electrical lighting, but then we have square V electrical panels. I mean, you know, there's a lot going on, but just having someone like of Alan's caliber to, you know, guide and take us into the next millennial would be beneficial for us.
I mean, that's why we decided that. I mean, knowing, I have all my faith in Bill. I don't know if we're using Alan that way, so. I mean, this is an insurance policy.
Oh, yeah, but like I said, we're only gonna pay for when we call them to come in.
Well, right, but you have to at least use it in half-day or full-day increments based on what the contract says. too.
Yeah, but you don't have to use anything, right? So this is, the contract says if you use them, you pay per diem up to $10,000. If we don't use them, we don't pay.
Don't we have an HVAC guy you can consult with? I mean, like, we just created a facilities committee to help with things around the school, and we probably have one of each of those people, right? And we could. I think you just said a building's a building, but you have to get used to this building, so you said two different things. I'm not in favor of this.
The operations and the, you know, just, there's more than just looking at the building. I mean, the inner parts of the building, it doesn't take,
But
you
Alan
know,
doesn't know
a
our
week.
building anyway.
Pardon?
Alan wouldn't know our building, and it's not
But he
about
knows-
him,
but
but a
he
building
knows-
person would know a building.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
but he knows systems, he knows, he has the connections, he knows, he'll give us recommendations on the lighting and stuff that he has done through renovations and so on and so forth.
I don't see him being.
Pardon?
Alan was a former student that knows the building very, very well. He lives locally. And Alan also helping us develop policies and a handbook would be helpful. Palisades, he has a couple people on staff, there's a succession plan. So again, it's just someone else kind of shaping and helping us have a maintenance, a preventative maintenance plan that would put it in writing and some of the policies and procedures while we're getting up and running with that facilities committee, which we're bringing back. So just someone kind of seeing oversight and a systems thinker who knows what to look for, that has things written down, that would be able to help Bill with those, the paperwork, et cetera.
We didn't have a manual when the past person left to walk in and open up the manual and say, oh, this, you know, do this, you know, this is, do this. That's what we're establishing now. Similar to, you know, our VM department, there's no manuals out there. We're trying to create this manual, and I think that Allen Profession, or any of the setting districts, you know, their chief of school operations, you know, they have a manual. So if they leave, at least there's something concrete laying there for the next person to walk in, so the transition doesn't take 6 months. You know,
There's a need for this. You absolutely, undoubtedly feel.
I personally
If
think
I'm
there
going
is.
into this position, I would want to make my own money.
I think that's probably what's gonna happen. This is an insurance policy.
Right.
That's all I see of it.
Right.
I mean, after being Bill, I feel very confident that he can do the job himself. If he has a question, he really is in need of that. I mean, he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, we're, you know,
We trust that you.
So let's have the insurance policy.
What's the
Big
basis
deal.
of why we would call an answer for him? Just an example, just curious. As opposed to what Bill would do, that's all.
well, if he came in and he was sitting with Bill to go through the AC systems, or, you know, the bidding process, which Bill has a lot of experience with, those types of things. You know, I just, like Mr. Fulton was saying, it's just something to feel comfortable that I have insurance, and Bill has insurance, so if there are, you know, things that come up, you know, like the oxymixin sewage, you know, there might be something that, you know, Alan lives in the neighborhood, so he might have answers to try to get through the oxymixin when we had those conversations a couple of months ago. You know, there's a lot of, you know, it seems like there is a lot of things that go on on a daily basis besides just cutting the grass.
But a knock-a-mixin question, like I said, are you gonna call someone in for half a day to answer a knock-a-mixin question? I mean, our school districts talk to each other, and we don't charge each other money to talk to each other. So, you know, I just, if it's like, hey, I have a question, you know.
Right, and, you know, it's gonna provide service upon request. So if we don't use them, all right, we're not gonna get charged.
I mean, when we approved this, we were concerned about the new person coming in here.
Right.
It's an unknown. So we instituted this insurance policy.
And I wanted it for whoever was gonna take it, because we had, Alan's assistant, Dave, or what was his name?
Dan, listen,
Dan. And Dan came in, he looked at, and he's has as much experience as Bill does. He came in, he's looking at the systems, and he got scared and didn't want to take the position. You know, bringing that bringing Alan in with that confidence and helping transition, it's a lot easier. It's hard to transition from coming in blind, as Dan would have, but he knew that we would have Alan
No,
as a
Dan
backup.
would have had time with Joe.
Right,
He would
and
have
I
time
was,
with Mr. Murphy, so he would have been coming in blind.
well, yeah, because I had this proposed for anybody that was gonna take that position. Doesn't matter if it was Dan, Bill, me, whoever. It's just an insurance policy.
I'd say we.
Any other comments or questions from board members?
Not affecting you individually.
You all had those things.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
3 names.
Three.
Dave, you know.
Motion carries 6-3. Number 17, I can't see. Bucks County Community College. I don't know how it's work. Bucks County Community College MOU, looking for a motion to approve a memorandum of agreement between Upper Bucks County Technical School and Bucks County Community College to provide in-school youth program services for the 2019-2020 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Comments and questions from board members?
Any calls?
No.
It's a good program. I actually had a kid come to me this year to do this with us. It was great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. All right, number 18, animal and veterinary science waiver. Looking for a motion to accept the assumption of risk waiver, release of liability, and indemnification form in order to provide increased knowledge on the importance of hygiene in pets and as a hands-on learning experience for the animal and veterinary science students.
Second.
Did our legal counsel review it? Yes. Any objection? Ready to vote?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Item number 19, metalworking trading MOA. Looking for a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement between Bucks County Community College and Upper Bucks County Technical School to provide welding and precision machining training from September 23rd, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
It's the same arrangement as the first one, basically, no cost associated. Motion.
We increased our.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
Is it expected that this program is much like the prior one, there's no cost associated with that?
Are we given the training?
We just raised our tuition.
Any other comments or questions from board members? carries 9-0. Okay, that brings us around to recognition and comments from the audience. I have, only person signed up for this session is Mr. Brian Moser.
How you doing? I'm a construction technology teacher here at the tech school. And just really quick, just wanted to ask one question, and it's just a curiosity thing. That Pepsi contract, I thought that was coming up this board meeting that you tabled it, with the whole Pepsi contract. Did that ever come about? You guys were talking about it last board meeting about the donations and whether that was gonna, you guys were gonna accept that contract or not?
I had a problem with the exclusivity of the contract, and it just kind of got tabled at that point.
So it's kind of a dead issue for now? Or-
I wouldn't say it's dead, I'm sure that he's got a lot of irons in the fire.
Okay, so it just didn't come up, all right.
Are you excited about it?
It's a curiosity thing.
Any particular way you'd like to see it go?
Me personally, I don't like to sell my soul to a company for perpetuity. It's, you know, maybe this board thinks it's a good idea, but then future boards, because I used to be an elected official too, and sometimes people sign things that you get stuck with for the rest of time, and you have no way out of it, and it's like, what'd they do that for? You know, right now, it sounds like a good idea, but it's kind of a tough thing, because it's one of those things you sign, at least the way it sounded, for forever. If there was a time limit on it, I think it might be a good thing, but if
I
there's
do
no
think
time
there's a
limit.
3-year maximum time limit on it, but I agree with you in a lot of, you know, your.
It was a 5-year, 7,000, 5-year, 34% investment, or 34% payment back to us. We're not gonna,
Not this.
Ellis is working with the, going through the contract, and not gonna be an exclusive.
Something else? Mr. Moser? I was just making sure you were done.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none? Alright, we can move on to announcements. The next regularly scheduled JOC board meeting is scheduled for October 17th, 2019, 7 p.m. in the JOC boardroom. Parent information night is September 26th, 2019, from 5:30 to 7. The Rockbridge Restaurant schedule is up with their hours of operation and their fall menu. The committee meetings, if there are some, will be before the JOC meeting on October 17th. Anybody have JOC operating committee concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion for adjournment.
Second.